How's it going, everybody? Ryan here, and you guys are watching Blackbeard TCG. Today we're talking about Blackbeard himself, Marshall D. Teach, and my hopes for what he would look like as a character in this game. Now, currently, to my knowledge, we don't have a Marshall D. Teach. We don't have a Blackbeard character card. We do have a Marshall D. Teach card who is in blue, who is actually in the blue starter deck, in the Crocodile deck. And obviously he has the title of 7 Warlords of the Sea Blackbeard Pirates. And so it really got me thinking. I was like, oh man, I'm actually super excited for when Blackbeard inevitably gets cards. We know that, of course, him being, potentially the final boss or one of the final fights in One Piece, he's going to be getting quite a bit of cards. We've already seen Luffy and other characters get a lot of interesting cards. So I know for a fact that we're going to get some interesting stuff for my boy Teach. Now, I believe the next set that not the next set, but the next cards that are going to be being shown are going to be Navy cards. So I'm looking forward to that. And I believe they are black, as you can see here with Akainu. But for Teach, it's interesting. So obviously he's blue, 7 Warlords of the Sea. His character card, not the leader, but his character card from the starter deck is on play, return 1 character with a cost of 3 or less to the owner's hand. Now, to my knowledge, this is not that great. It's an okay card. But for what I would like to see from Teach as a character card, well, one, I would hope that his art looks amazing, as I do in all card games with any of my favorite characters or any of my favorite things or any of my favorite archetypes. I love to collect the max rarity, so I hope that Marshall D. Teach has some really, really cool art no matter what color they decide to go. But obviously, I'm assuming that he will probably be blue, purple. He could just be purple as well. He could just be blue. It'll be interesting to see what they decide to do. Obviously, with purple, Kaido is 4 emperors. We know that Blackbeard is obviously one of the 4 emperors. So it'll be interesting to see if they want to do something like that. Obviously, there's X-Drake that's purple. He is also kind of, with Kaido technically in this whole arc and Wano and all that stuff. But he's also in the blue starter deck, right? Which is one thing that I really like about this, is the fact that characters will be under any color, right? As long as it makes sense thematically, right? But in a way, they can almost make any character any color, which is something that has me really excited, because I feel like we won't really have to be married to one specific color. And for me, that's something that greatly excites me, because that just means more combinations, more things to collect for me as a collector. That's absolutely amazing. So for me, I could definitely see the first one being blue, purple, or just a blue or just a purple. In terms of what he could do, obviously, I can't predict things like that, but I think thematically it'd be really cool. We know with his darkness fruit, how he can nullify things, cancel out powers, things like that. It'd be very interesting if they implement some type of mechanic like that, where we use our Dawn as a resource, as many cards do, and we're able to just basically counter our opponent, whether it's their attack or maybe cancel out an effect or something like that. Really be control-y, which I feel falls really good under the blue symbol, because from the stuff that I've seen, it definitely seems like something that wants to disrupt your opponent. So I could definitely see that being a thing. But then also his Quake fruit, I feel like that could also be really interesting, because then I started thinking, red is a pretty aggressive symbol. Could there be a red Teach? There's so many cool things. But then I was like, okay, under purple, obviously really big attacks, obviously we know how much of a beast Kaido is, but Marshall D. Teach, my boy Blackbeard, can obviously hold his own and has some pretty big attacks as well, especially with his Quake fruit. So that's why I was feeling like he could probably be pro. But then I was also thinking red, it'd be really aggressive. Obviously with red, we've been seeing a ton of stuff, obviously with Luffy, with Zoro, and all those things. But again, that's the beauty of this game and how Bandai's setting this up, and how other games, for example, Dragon Ball, and stuff like that, your characters aren't really locked into that color. So if you're a fan of the characters, you'll have a lot of things to play with. But of course, you know, some people are fans of just a certain color, a certain type, and because typically those colors or types have a certain play style, right? So yeah, I don't know. For me, my play style is the way that I like to play in card games. If you guys remember me from the My Hero Academia stuff, I do like aggressive decks, but I also do like control decks. I really do like control decks, and that's why I feel like in terms of symbols again, oh my gosh, because I was just talking about My Hero Academia. It's going to take a while to transition. In terms of colors, I'm really leaning towards blue and green. I mean, it'll be cool to see a Blackbeard green. I don't think we're going to get that. But for me, I think that I'm leaning very heavily towards blue and green. I think blue is a really strong color right now in the metagame from what I've heard. And I've heard that green is really good for new players, which is great because green's my favorite color. And then also, you know, I'm a new player, so that'll be very, very good. And obviously, there's going to be a lot of new players because the game's not out yet. When I say new players, I mean the players that haven't gotten into the game yet because it's already been released in Japan. It's already been released in other Asian countries, and there's already been tournaments going on and things of that nature. So that's what I mean in regards to that. But yeah, I'm definitely, the first deck I'm going to build is definitely green. I'm definitely going to build Eustace Kid, 110% for sure. That's without a doubt. But yeah, I don't know. That's just my thoughts for Blackbeard. I'm super excited. I really, really would love to see him under blue or purple. I really, really hope that the art is really cool. And lastly, I really hope that, you know, whether they try to focus more so on his darkness fruit and like cancel things out or nullify attacks or be able to like completely like stop an attack in its tracks no matter like how beefy it is, and then always having that potential threat. So if your opponent wants to swing, then they have to know that like you can nullify an attack. But I don't know, that could be overpowered because I don't know how the metagame is actually being played out because I haven't actually played it in the metagame. But I don't know, a lot of cool ideas, and this is just Blackbeard. Like, I don't know, as you guys can tell, I'm a huge Blackbeard fan. I'm super excited to see what they end up doing with this character. But with that being said, I'm curious, are you guys fans of Blackbeard? Do you guys have any ideas what he could look like, what color he could be under, what would you want him to be? Let me know in the comment section below. And without, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say one other thing actually. Slipped my mind. But otherwise, other than that, guys, make sure to like, subscribe, share it with a friend, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace.